I used to battle with depression and suicidal thoughts when I was a younger kid. My parents were going through a divorce. They were arguing all the time. I was changing schools. I had very few friends. There was a lot of changes that happened simultaneously. I felt I had no reason to live because my parents would fight all the time and it would kill me inside. And I felt like I just didn't want to live. Even though I had all the toys, I had a beautiful house, I had really all the nice financial things. Luckily, my mom picked up on my vibe, what she did to help me get out of this funk I was in. My mom physically got me out of the house. She forced me to go do something active. And then she would promise me that we'd go to somewhere fun like McDonald's or Wendy's or somewhere to eat after. She would take me to the park, we'd shoot around, play basketball or something. And that really is what got me out of the funk of feeling depressed. You can do so many things to break through depression. And even as an adult, there's been other times where I go through days, weeks, hours, minutes of feeling depressed. And it's not always conscious. Sometimes mentally you can be operating and doing your thing, but emotionally there could be something that's taking your energy away. And so meditation is also something that's helped me tremendously to kind of get in touch with the difference between what's going on up here and what's going on in here. And so when you understand the difference in those two different areas of your life, then you can bring them into alignment. And when you live in alignment, then you're more present. And when you're present, that's where your true power is, because that's where you're living. You're living from a sense and a space of authenticity. And according to some research I heard recently, they say that there's love and then there's authenticity. When you're in your true state of authenticity, you have more to offer to the world in your day-to-day activities, whether it's time with your family or at work. Sometimes you might come across people, and I know I've been guilty of this as well. When I've been at work, there was a time in my life where I was emotionally processing some big change in my life. I used to live in Europe and then I moved back to the United States. And it was a big emotional shift for me. And so even though mentally I was here in my job and my day-to-day activities, emotionally I was completely somewhere else. And I didn't know what was wrong. I couldn't really put my finger on it back then. Now I can look back and see, okay, that's why I was so out of it. I remember having one of my bosses at one of these restaurants I worked at. He's like, hey man, are you on drugs or something? And I'm like, no, why? Why do you ask? He's like, oh, because you're just not really there. And I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to say to that? And I know sometimes you could be in relationships that you're not comfortable sharing information. For some people, when you talk things out, you kind of emotionally release them. So having somebody to talk to can be very, very helpful. And in that time, I really didn't feel like I had somebody to talk to about that. As a youth, I could talk to my mom and talk to her about the problems I was feeling and stuff like that. And then do things physically also helps you become more aligned and congruent. And so going to work out, going for a walk, walking your dog, getting a pet if you don't have a pet, doing some kind of vigorous exercise, calling a friend, volunteering, doing something that'll get you outside of the fields. When you see different negative things on the internet or on feeds of friends and they show their Lamborghinis, their beautiful life they have on social media, then sometimes that leads to depression. Clinically proven that when you see too much disconnect between where you are and where you want to be, it feels like you're not good enough, and those feelings are not conducive to productivity. So that's why I suggest going into physical activity, spending time with people that care about you. It's a big difference than being around people that just pretend like they care about you. People that really care about you want you to win. People that are happy for your success, people that are happy that you've lost weight, people that are happy that you've won a championship or whatever it is that you're doing in your path. They're happy for your growth. They're happy for your development. It's not just competitive. I remember early in my career as a consultant, some of my students really made it big. Like they became very, very successful. And I remember originally feeling, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like I should be doing that as well. Not realizing that part of it was my influence and sharing the data with these people. And sometimes it takes just a little shift, a little bit of inspiration from someone that you might even forget about, that they help you get to where you are now. My mom definitely helped me. And I know I've had my dad as an example as well. He's very hardworking, very industrious. My mom is very entrepreneurial. I had two great examples of how to succeed. When you are of value to others, when you are of service, it gets you out of yourself, out of your own feels. And then you're able to better connect with other people because you're not focused on yourself. His success is my success. Yes, I was training him on certain concepts that helped him grow his business exponentially. And I don't take credit for his achievements because he's the one who took action on the information. And so that's the point. I can tell you these things about how to get out of depression, but it's up to you to get off your ass and go to the park, go walk your dog, go volunteer, go find some job to apply for. If you don't get the job, you just keep going. Use those disappointments and failures to motivate you to do the next thing. If you're sad right now, it's okay. Just go through the sadness. Observe it. Meditation techniques that I learned through some of the great teachers that I've had was observe the feelings instead of react to them. When you observe the feeling versus react to them, it's a big difference. In the meditative practice, you could observe the feeling. If you're going through an emotion, take a deep breath, just let it go. And then you get the feeling again and just breathe it in. Breathe in whatever you're feeling and let it go. Breathe out the frustration. Breathe in inspiration and breathe out depression. Breathe out frustration. Breathe out annoyance. Breathe out your anger. There's so many different things you can do. You can play classical music. It's clinically proven that Baroque style music, which is like classical Mozart type music, can help you become more productive at work, can help you relax. It basically elevates your spirit. So music does that. And it can lower your spirit as well, depending on what you're listening to. You can use these things to help you feel better. Now it's just a matter of you taking this information, putting it into action. And if you need help with this, feel free to reach out to me. I don't really open up my calendar or my time for anybody, but if you need help, reach out to me. I have a link in my bio and you can schedule a conversation with me. Life is beautiful. The future is better than the past. When you learn how to be present, the most beautiful moment is right now. And as you move into the present, as you observe and release what no longer serves you, radically accept the past, radically let go of what hasn't served you in the past. Spend time with people that love you. Spend time with doing activities that you love. Forget about what other people think about you. Other people's thoughts about you are none of your business. Other people's thoughts about you are none of your business. As you move forward into the present, just remember the future is better than the past, and the present is the gift. Right now is the gift. Remember, this is where all of your power is. And if you use this power to be a force for good, and you're giving good energy, all of these feelings will multiply. You're going to amplify others as well. And then you're going to get a cycle of that coming into your life. And as you perpetuate these good things will happen to you and your life will completely change for the better.